How's it going, everyone? Bass here, and in this video, I want to talk about if the Green Bay Packers should or should not exercise Darnell Savage's fifth-year rookie option. I got this video idea from my buddy over on Twitter, Dare here, and he basically put out the same exact tweet saying, should the Packers exercise Darnell Savage's fifth-year option? If you don't follow Dare, go over on Twitter, follow him, a really good follow. And if you are new here and you want more Packers news, analysis, and updates, I put out Packers content almost daily covering this whole offseason with the draft, free agency, and salary cap. So if you are new here, consider going down and clicking that subscribe button, as well as leaving a like on the video to support my channel. Also, I will be picking a winner for the full-size David Bakhtiari signed helmet. I released a video a while back basically giving away this helmet. I'll put the link right above. If you haven't already entered, click the link above, go enter that contest. All right, so now let's get started. So the Green Bay Packers have until May 3rd this year to either accept or decline Darnell Savage's fifth-year rookie option deal. So that basically made me want to make a video. Hey, should the Packers accept this or decline this? Now, the Packers also have the same decision with Rashawn Gary, as both Rashawn Gary and Darnell Savage were drafted in the first round in the 2019 draft. If you didn't know, first-round draft picks do receive an option for their fifth year that the team can either accept or decline. But Rashawn Gary's will 100% happen, in my opinion. You know, his will be at around $10.5 million, by the way. Now, both are under contract for 2022. The option is for 2023, so Savage will 100% be here and be playing in 2022. But this would be for, like I said, the 2023 season. Now, let me start by saying I am a bit biased for Darnell Savage. He's from around right where I am. Shout out Newark, Delaware. Shout out Bear, Delaware. He went to Caraval Academy near me, obviously, then Maryland. So I am a little bit biased. I have a soft spot for Darnell Savage. I loved when the Packers selected him, and obviously, I still want him to remain on this team. So right now, the projected fifth-year contract number for Darnell Savage would be $7,918,000. And if we look at this list here, the 2019 first-round class, you can see basically it's estimated basically on either play time, if they have a basic one, if they don't play as much, play time, one Pro Bowl or more than one Pro Bowls. And Darnell Savage's is based off of playtime. Obviously, he's been starting since he really came into the league, so that's why it's that $7.9 million rather than the $7.2 would be if he didn't, have a lot of playtime. And then, of course, if he had one Super Bowl or two, that would jump up as well, as you see at the very top here with some people like Nick Bosa and Kyler Murray. Now, theoretically, the Packers could extend him, giving him a longer-term extension. Now, we're talking next offseason, like they're going to do this year with Jair Alexander to lower that fifth-year option, which is just over $13 million for Jair. That's full-on cap hit right on this year. So obviously an extension would lower that. They could do the same essentially with Darnell Savage when that time comes. All right, so firstly, we have to talk about performance. And I think one word to describe Darnell Savage correctly would be inconsistent. 8 interceptions over his career, 26 passes defended, 146 solo tackles, and 1 sack, and that's in 3 years. Now, those are pretty solid stats on paper. Savage came in as a starter his first week in the NFL and has only missed 3 games in 3 years, so he's also been reliable. But 2021 was certainly a down year for Darnell Savage. It wasn't his best year, and to many, it was his worst, and that was after a very promising 2020 season. This year, PFF had him as their 50th highest ranked safety. Now that does include free safeties and strong safeties, so obviously there's a bigger pool to choose from for 2021. And if we look at his season grades over here on PFF, we see his rookie grade in 2019 was a 65.7. Then in 2020, that promising 72.1. And then dropping to his lowest grade ever in 2020, that 58.4. And then also having a 50.7 run defense grade and his lowest coverage grade as well at 62.2. And Savage this year really struggled in coverage, letting up his most receptions, most yards, and most touchdowns he's ever let up in a season. And as I said earlier, he was just very inconsistent this year. He had some pretty good games, above average games, but he also had some very terrible games. And he reminds me, at least for this year, a lot like Chris Barnes. He had a very similar pattern as Darnell Savage. If we look at his 2021 game list via PFF, we see some of the bad games. Obviously in Cincinnati, he got torched. We see with that 37.9 and 38.3 coverage grade. In Baltimore, bad game as well, 39.3. Playoff game against San Fran, 47.4. But he also had some decent games. We see here at Kansas City, where the Packers pretty much shut out. Patrick Mahomes had his lowest passing yards ever. 77.1. Seattle, where they didn't score a point, 74.1. And then also in LA, 69.2. So not crazy great, nothing above 80, but still good. And even looking at all this, I would think it would be way too early to give up on Darnell Savage. And the second part to this is looking at this from a money standpoint. We already looked at, performance, and like I said, I think it's too early to move on. But from a money standpoint, Darnell Savage's cap hit this year, which is the last year of his 4-year rookie deal, will be $3.9 million, and if they accept that 5th-year option, it'll increase to $7.9 million under 2023, and that's a $4 million increase. Now, if they were to accept that and it stayed at 7.9, meaning they didn't give him a further extension, and you were to compare that to other safeties in the league right now, he would be the 20th highest safety for average per year. And honestly, I think that's a pretty fair assessment, right around safeties like Quandre Diggs, Malcolm Jenkins, and Rayshon Jenkins. And also, if the Packers didn't accept that 5th-year option, that means they would have to draft a safety early either this year or next year. And I just think there's a lot more pressing needs than safety. Now, do I think the Packers should draft a safety in the later rounds for a third string, rotational safety? Of course. But I just think there's a lot more pressing needs than the Packers having to draft a safety in day 1 or day 2 this year or next year. Overall, I think Darnell Savage will bounce back this year, making that $7.9 million option in 2023 look like a great deal. But again, I'm slightly biased. But I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think the Packers should accept this 5th-year option given all these details and whatnot? Leave that down in the comments below. But on that note, I'll catch you on the next one. As always, go Pack Go.